Hi kids, it's Dan Hegstead. Welcome to my vlog and podcast, Next Steps, Tools for Transforming from Coping to Thriving. It's based on my book. Here it is in paperback. It's also a Kindle e-reader and an audiobook read by me. All that's available on Amazon, and the link to all that is on my website, danhegstead.com. And I am a speaker and trainer, and if you'd like to hire me or look into that, danhegstead.com. Got ideas for topics for the vlog and podcast? Email them to me, dan@danhegstead.com. And I'm getting some positive feedback. We're not a lot of listeners and viewers on this. I don't really push it, don't pay for any promotion or anything. But the people who are watching it and listening seem to like it. Sure, you can, like and subscribe. That's always a good thing. Then you get new notifications when there's a new episode. But the other thing you could do is share it with people. That's really what's going to make this take off, if it ever does. I don't know. What I got here is challenging stuff. It's really pretty simple, but it's challenging. It's hard to change. It's hard to change with intention. It's hard to let go of all our fears and worries and everything. But that's what we have to do if we're going to move from coping to thriving. But if you know of somebody who might be interested in what I have to say and the book or whatever, share it with them. There you go. So I ran into a quote. Well, I don't know if it's a quote. I can't find whoever said it. I did a fair amount of research. Of course, it shows up on Pinterest and Etsy and all those things. People have made graphics of it. But somebody said, finding yourself as an adult is you remembering who you were as a child. Finding yourself as an adult is remembering who you were as a child. And I thought, well, there's a profound truth, because that's what a lot of my book is about too, is, finding yourself. I am not what happened to me. I am who I choose to become. Once you become fearless, life becomes limitless. Well, where does having all those choices and being fearless is not easy to do, but so much of it comes from rules and expectations. Rules you get from other people, expectations of other people and yourself, and so forth. And there's nothing wrong with those, but I'm an advocate of examining all those, identify them, examine them, and say, are these my rules? Society throws all kinds of rules on us. And then if you're outside the norm at all, LGBTQ or, even if you're a different race than me, oh my gosh, there's rules about that. And it's mostly just a bunch of nonsense. And, some of it is nothing you could do about it, but you don't always have to play along. There's rules in your job, okay? Can you go with those? Where does that come from? Do you have to live with those? Maybe you need to change jobs, all that. Your family, going back, generations. It can all come down on you, all these expectations of family. Your church, oh my gosh, we talk about rules. And trying to, I think a lot of times helpful and with all good intention, but frequently all these rules, but church in particular, is just trying to control you. And I'm saying, think for yourself. You've got a big brain. Get out of that lower fear-based thinking and engage your higher brain. You get to decide, does this make sense? A loving God isn't going to condemn you to burning hell forever because you had questions. It's just not a loving God. No. Okay. Don't get me started. The media has all kinds of stereotypes. I've been doing a 4-week series on meditation here. And the first thing I talk about in front of the group is what is meditation? What does it look like? Well, the way you find stereotypes is you go to Google and do an image search on meditation. You're going to get 10,000 images or drawings of a 20-year-old woman is sitting in a lotus position on a beach who's all peaceful. It's not untrue, but it's such a tiny fraction. And you don't have to do that or be that to meditate. Anybody can meditate. It's free, simple, easy. There's a link on my website to a simple meditation. That's all you need. I just read the book on mindfulness and meditation by Thich Nhat Hanh, and he says, if you're going to meditate, sitting in a lotus or half lotus position is good, but if you can't do that, sit in a chair. There's no hard and fast rules about this, but okay, I'm kind of off on a tangent there, but those are the rules. That's how it shows up in our life. Oh, if I'm too old, I can't meditate. If I'm not skinny and can sit in a lotus position, I can't. You need to question all that and let it go. That is why I insist that you make lists pen on paper, ink on paper, because it churns up everything in here, which can be scary, but you'll be okay. And it makes you think and get beyond this stuff, because it's never going anywhere if you don't rake it up a little bit and move beyond. Who are you? That's a good question. That's one of the biggest questions of life. Who are you? What do you stand for? What do you believe? Write these things down. What are the rules you live by? Whose rules are they? Do you choose them? What are the consequences if you break the rules? What if you wore white after Labor Day? What if, those kinds of things. Some of them have no consequences, others are bigger. What if you leave your church? What if you don't become a lawyer like your father and grandfather and on and on and on? All that kind of nonsense. Your rules. Live by your rules. That's what's going to make you happy. Do you agree with them? I think it's important to write down your theology. Think about it. Write it down. What's important to you? And then, you're not committing to it. You can look at it and go, I don't know if that's true or not. I wonder what is. And you're allowed to have questions, and you're allowed to say, I don't know. Or you're allowed to say, I don't care. That's theology for you. We can't know all the answers, and you just never will. What makes you happy? What makes you unhappy? All those things we need to know about you. You need to be you. Be you. If there's a theme of this book, it's find out who you are and be that person. All you want to do is be happy. That's all anybody wants, just be happy. And you do that by getting rid of all the crap in your life, examining your fears, and moving beyond those as best you can, and being you. That's what it is. It's pretty simple stuff. Now, here's a huge asterisk. None of this gives you permission to be a selfish jackass. Okay? You don't get to do that. You're saying, well, I'm just being me. I'm just being honest about my feelings. I hate Jews. I'm going to be a Nazi because I'm, no, you can't do that. That's not the way this works. And if I have to explain that to you, you need to maybe go back to the beginning and think about these things. I'm recommending a short series that is on Netflix, and I'm sorry if you don't have Netflix. Ricky Gervais made a short series. I think it ran 3 seasons, maybe 30 half-hour episodes, called Afterlife. And I recommend it. It is a comedy. It is a dark comedy. It is very dark, and it is very funny. And I'm not going to say any more about it than that. Ricky Gervais' Afterlife, because it deals with a lot of these issues that we're dealing with here. It's funny. It's dark. It is thought-provoking. And if you ever want to experience good writing, and all movies and TV start with a great script, this is great writing. To be able to weave these very difficult themes into something that works. It's really challenging. So if you appreciate good writing, and I don't mean that it's such, this was a clever retort and that was, but to bring out these themes of this man who is just broken, and yet he has to navigate that. He has to sort through that. And he does. Just to write those characters in such a way that is, I wouldn't say is it realistic? Is it believable? I don't know. It's like Star Trek. If you're going to question everything, just don't watch it. But this works for me and a lot of other people too. And that is great writing, friends. Ricky Gervais, Afterlife. All this is how you become you, and that's what this whole thing is about. Finding yourself as an adult is going back to who you were as a child and becoming that person. And I don't mean a selfish 2-year-old or a troubled teen, but that is who you were before all the rules were dumped on you, or you grabbed them and you were been dragging them around your whole life. Some of them, fine if you want to, but know what they are and make sure it's your choice before you move forward. That's what this is all about. Finding yourself as an adult is remembering who you were as a child. But now as an adult, you get to make choices about that, about who you are. That's what it's all about. And friends, that is how you move from coping to thriving. There you go. So, if you want to buy the book, it's on my website. If you want to look at hiring me as a speaker, on my website. If you like this, like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and there you go. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'm Dan Hegstead. It's Next Steps, Tools for Transforming from Coping to Thriving.